Hello Gearspace, this is Václav from Bastl Instruments. We are at Superbooth 25, and what I have here for you to show is the Wavebard. And the Wavebard is our new mini modular sampler player. So it uses these like mini jumper wires, and it's very affordable. It goes for like 160 euros without tax, so a little under 200 euros. So it's very affordable, and it gives you a lot of the exploratory modular experience you would get from a modular, and it's a sample player. So even if you're new to modular, it's great, but you can load your own samples into it and have it like you load your own sounds, your own aesthetic, and like have it remix it for you. So let's dive in, and I'll show you how it works. So there is some like beat I made with just 3 jumper wires. So let's start from scratch. So you can press the shift button to trigger the samples, and the sample knob selects one of 8 samples. Right. And then those samples are organized in banks. So if I press the bank button, it goes to a different set of samples. So, and I have multiple banks. So this is how the samples are stored in the machine. So let's start to discover a beat, because this is not like your traditional sampler. On this one, you discover some music. So we can start by patching the gate into the trigger input. Yeah, this is nice. So let's maybe use CV and modulate the pitch. I can bring in some effects by holding shift and turning this knob. And so I can either tweak the sample knob to go to different sample, or use modulation again to go through the sample. So this is the sample mode. So now each of the tones is played with a different sample. And this is what I mean by exploring the rhythms. So like different configuration of these knobs just creates new patterns. It constantly gives me like new ideas, but they are aligned to the same rhythm structure. If I wanna change the rhythm, I can hold shift and tweak this knob to have different gate pattern that's triggering the sample. Make the tempo faster. So the length knob can shorten the sample to like short transients in the middle, and then it reverses the samples. So you have a lot of soundscapes to explore. And then there is also a filter. So if I hold shift and turn this knob, it's a filter which has low pass and high pass. Yeah, and then if I press bank, I have a totally different set of samples performing kind of the same, let's say, rhythmical algorithm. So let's turn down the delay a bit and add a bit of a flanger. And what you can also do is you can change the banks with CV. So if I patch into the bank input, it starts changing the colors. And now I have like multi-dimensional like sample field from which I can choose different sounds. Right? So it's really about like exploring. So even just moving the sample knob kind of rotates which samples are being played. And it's really fast, and it's like you can discover new rhythms just by doing like simple movements. Yeah, I think this sounds great, to be honest. So yeah, so you have your modulation sources. There is the pattern generator that has gate and CV out. There is also an envelope output. I can use it to modulate the pitch maybe. And then I have the LFO with triangle and square wave, and the LFO could be either synced to the tempo or free running. Yeah, and this is basically the wave bar. So what you can see here on the monitor is a web app where you can like load your own samples. You can also like change the quality of them. You can also edit your own scales, so there is a built-in quantizer for melodic stuff. So you can make custom scales, you can make custom rhythms, and I really like customize the experience. However, you don't need to do it. We crafted the default sample banks, the factory sample banks. We gave them a lot of care. We made them with artist Oliver Thor, and I think they sound great. Yeah, so this is our newest a little modular thing. It's in stereo. However, it can play only one sample at a time, so it's monophonic. And yeah, the price is 160 euros without tax, so somewhere under 200 euros, depending on where you live. And there is a lot of fun. So yeah. There is one more thing to show, and it's the FX Wizard. So this is the same hardware as the WaveBard. You can actually upload the WaveBard onto the FX Wizard and vice versa. But this one is not a sampler player, it's a effects unit. So let's dive in, and I'll show you what kind of effects you can do with it. I'm gonna be using the WaveBard as the source. So this is the clean sound that's coming from the WaveBard. I'll just leave it unchanged, and we're gonna process it with the FX Wizard. So now I don't have any patch there, so let's bring up the amount to get some, to make it do something. So there is 9 different effects. So if I press the FX mode, it changes the effects mode. So this one is a like downsampler, bit crusher. This one is a sort of like a slicer. It can like chop any sounds into like rhythmic bits. This is a really experimental pitch shifter. I love this one, especially when you feedback it a bit. So you have 3 main effects parameters. You have the time, feedback, and amount. And these 3 work in every mode. So this is a sort of like little buffer replayer effect. You can also make it play the sound backwards and do a lot of like pitch shifting things. This is a slightly different pitch shifter. Yeah, I love the pitch shifters on this. This is a quite plain delay effect, but it's a stereo delay. And you can make it, you can turn it into this comp filter also, very nice. This is sort of like a chorus flanger effect. This is my favorite. This is the freezer effect, so it can freeze bits of audio. So let's maybe start with this one. One of the things the FX Wizard can do is that it can follow the input audio with the envelope follower, and I can use it to trigger the freezer. So it's gonna. So each time there is a peak from the wavebar, it records a new sample buffer. And it kind of gives me this like nice sort of like a wavetable thing. And I can also go and modulate the pitch. So it almost creates like a new voice from what's coming from the source. Yeah, I like that. And what if you took some modulation and changed the effects, the FX modes, change the colors, change the FX modes? It becomes so it sequences which effect is being applied, and now it becomes like really fun and also kind of unexpected. So I think that this is where this shines the most. It's not like meant to be like very like static effects processor. It just gives you this like dynamic and yeah, really fun sort of like a glitchy ways to process your input signal, and then you can just like go to the next set of effects that it's cycling through, and it just gives you like different way of processing them. And eventually you'll find something that really works well. I love this pattern. Let's see what else. Yeah, I like that. And back to the clean signal again with the amount. Yeah. So yeah, this is the FX Wizard. The modulation is the same as on the wavebar on it, and yeah, so you can use the firmware from the wavebar, put it on the FX Wizard, and vice versa. If you have one of them, you can try both. But I think they're a lot of fun when you use both, and they also are really easy to interface. So they both have sync input. They also have a sync output, so that's analog sync. And they both have audio input and audio output. So you don't even need a mixer. That's just a convenience for a trade show like this. And again, this one goes for 160 euros without tax, so a little under 200 euros with tax. And yeah, for anybody who wants to get into exploring what modular might bring, I think this gives you like the exploratory experience and enthusiasm that you get from modulars. So yeah, recommend you check it out. And this was Václav for Gearspace at Superbooth.